Dina Jolie here, aka SirenbellaSays. I want to welcome you back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. 99.9% of the items I'm using today can be found at your local drugstore. Some great silicone options that are really good for face smoothing are the e.l.f. Poreless face primer and also the Maybelline Baby Skin, a tried and true favorite. And the past couple weeks I have been absolutely obsessing over the NYX Angel Veil. Really fills the pores and smooths out that T-zone area where I have the most texture and the most to fill. And I also love the Maybelline Master Blur Stick. It looks like this. They have a clear one, a more pigmented beigey one, and then a bronzier one that I like to use to prime for my contour. It's really fantastic. I like to use my fingers or a paint style brush. Okay, after my primer has settled down, I go in with a light layer of translucent powder to set my primer. I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild Photofocus translucent. I also have the banana. They're both absolutely stunning, and I think they have one more shade in the range. It's got little holes in it, and even though it's translucent, it does have a little bit of pigment. Not sure if it leaves what do they call it, flashback. I typically like to apply powder with sponges, but I'm gonna give it a try. All right, go in, pick it up with my e.l.f. Flawless Face Sponge. I'm just gonna go ahead. If you have textured skin like I do, I think pressing the product in is much better than swiping. Okay, mascara. For mascara, we are going to prime with my L'Oreal Voluminous Primer Base. I like it. If you've been with me for a while, you know that my lashes are nothing to write to prison about. So a couple days ago, I picked up this Covergirl Exhibitionist Mascara, the waterproof version. I love me a mascara. I've got lots of them. I love drugstore mascaras. It hurts me to spend more than $10 on a mascara, and most of the time I'm couponing or beauty bucking it. This is a beautiful, fluttery mascara. It's got that hourglass shape. It reminds me of the Too Faced Better Than Sex or the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, neither of which I own or particularly enjoy. I find the formula to be a little too dry. So ideally I would go in with 2 to 3 coats of this. We'll see. We'll see. For my bottom lashes, I've been really enjoying the waterproof Maybelline Falsies. The one in the pretty purple tube. Wand looks like this. And I just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I don't know if you can hear my sister upstairs. She's laughing. I'm sure she's watching the Kardashians. All right, it's been about 10 minutes and my eye has not stopped watering. And if I wait any longer, I'm probably gonna fall asleep. Not really, but all right. Face feels locked in. It feels smooth. It feels filled. My eyelashes feel fluttery. I would say I've got about 3 light layers on top and bottom. For foundation, I decided to go in with this CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation in the shade L80. I've repurchased this 2 times. I really love it. I think it's a beautiful full coverage foundation. I think it's buildable. Even though it's matte, I think it's a flexible matte. And if you are combo, oily, textured, skinned like myself, I think you'll really enjoy it. I think the secret to this is not necessarily like being conservative with it, but like don't put more than you need, all right? If you don't have a lot to cover, don't act like you've got a lot to cover. I am going to paint this on. I'm gonna do one side of my face so we can compare. Please excuse my mustache. I couldn't bring myself to wax before filming. And you can, I don't know, you can tell. Let me turn the lights down. Give me 1 second. There we go. I have a lot of discoloration here at the corner of my eye and on my eyelids, and I do like to bring my foundation up onto up under my eye. I figure, you know, the more coverage I have with my foundation, the less I have to go in with my concealer. I've got a lot of redness in the corners of my nose. A lot of times foundation and concealer don't hack it. Like, it's something about this area that doesn't want to hold on to foundation, as well as right here along my chin and right around here. Squeezing out another pump. I know it feels like I'm putting a lot, but I swear it doesn't feel heavy on the face at all. Need to go back in. All right, moving along. I do recommend setting this foundation. It does set down, but just if you have texture like me, or if you really need your foundation to be locked in, I recommend that you powder around your cheeks. Targeted powdering, as they call it. All right, moving along to concealer. I have a love-hate relationship with concealer. I'm still on a quest to find my perfect shade. I don't like an overly highlighted under eye, but I do like it to be bright and beautiful. But I hate what concealer does to my under eye. I was just talking to my mom about picking up the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer because I've seen so many of my favorite YouTubers sing its praises. Comment down below if you own and use the Tarte Maracuja, what your experiences are. Do you recommend it? Do you not? But I picked up this Infallible Pro Glow in the shade Classic Ivory. It's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to go ahead and it is a more emollient concealer, so I feel like you can apply it to both sides pretty confidently. Don't you love it when someone's like, they're going in lightly, and the next thing you know, they've got like 13 inches. All right, next I'm going in with my e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. And I'm legit just going to swipe a smidge. Put some here, here. I don't bring it up any further. All right. I call myself being organized, and then it's just a fail. All right, I can't find it. That makes me so sad. Oh, yes, it is. Here it is. Ba-ba. This is what she looks like. Just gonna go ahead and gently. I'm learning how to let the bristles do the work and not my biceps. So I'm gonna grab this dry sponge. It's the LA Girl sponge. It's dry. I'm gonna... If you find yourself that your concealer dries down more than you want it to, grab your nearest setting spray. This is the e.l.f. Dewy Mist. Give yourself a misting just to kind of re-emulsify your liquid product. One of the most controversial topics of 2019. Do you set your under eye concealer? Right now, the way it's looking on camera, I don't need any powder. This concealer's not going anywhere. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer is so bulletproof. But if you like to set your under eye, go for it. I think it ages me more than I want to be aged, so I'm gonna pass. All right, I am going to grab my Milani Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder in 03 Natural Light. This is what she looks like. She's a gorgeous powder. I don't think she's talked about enough. I am going to grab my Wet n Wild Pac-Man limited edition face brush, and I'm going to press just a nice light layer. All right, next I'm grabbing my Wet n Wild translucent powder. You're like, more powder? I put such a sheer layer. I'm gonna dump some into my cap, go back in with that Wet n Wild face brush, and again, focusing this on my cheeks and the center of my face. My face does not feel dry, it doesn't feel tight, even though I've got a matte, formula on, even though I've got two, thin layers of powder. It's just the perfect amount of coverage. Moving on, we're gonna go highlight, blush, bronzer. So I'm going in with the Milani Afterglow 01 Strobelight. I just started using this highlighter. I've just started getting into highlighters, and it's really, really beautiful. My only thing is I don't know what my preferred method of application is, but I will tell you this. All right, I'm gonna grab my e.l.f. highlighter brush. It looks like this. I'm gonna go into the pan. All right, I'm actually gonna just I'm gonna paint it on right here. I'm gonna put some right there in the center. I put it right on my brow. Oh, by the way, I did lightly fill in my brows with the Wet n Wild eyebrow pencil. I will list that down below. So I like to apply highlighter in my inner brow. I like to apply it right here. I don't like anything to be stripy. I want it to all sing together. I'm gonna dip in with my finger, just put a teeny little bit, teeny, and a teeny bit right here. Just a kiss, and just a kiss. I'm not really into highlighting my chin, so I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, so we've got that on. Next, I'm gonna grab my e.l.f. blush in Always Rosy. I think these are the primer infused blushes, and they're absolutely stunning. This is a spring, summer, fall blush, you name it. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. blush brush. Aren't you happy I'm using all drugstore brushes? Can I get a high five? Pigmented, buildable, stunning. This is my, so I grab from towards the end of the handle, dust off the excess, and starting, you see where my cheekbone is here, I just lightly press and sweep. I imagine that the sun is lightly burning my cheeks. Maybe not burning, just kissing and leaving a flush. I let the bristles do the work, and I'm just sweeping over my nose. I'm not bringing the blush up too high, and I'm allowing the blush to come into my eye bag. And I'm using the blush as a sort of reverse contour, as you can see. And I think when you bring it along the bridge of the nose, it looks so pretty. And then whatever I have left, slightly going back in, and you just look so sun-kissed. It's so pretty. I mean, you could just leave it here, you know, and skip bronzer altogether, but who wants to skip bronzer? All right, my favorite bronzer these days is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 200. Can't get enough of it, can't say enough of it. I prefer to apply my bronzer with a more precise brush. However, actually, you know what, I'm gonna go in with this Wet n Wild. This is I don't know, I don't really know what it is, but I love it. I love it for bronzer. So I'm gonna dip in, stunning bronzer. If you don't own it, grab it. They've got shade 100, 200. I think I saw 250 out there, but if you're close to my skin tone, 200 is fantastic as a bronzer or a contour. So I've shaken off the excess, and I'm just going to, okay, look, so here's my cheekbone, right? But I've got a lot of texture here. I don't wanna bring my bronzer too low because then it just adds heaviness. So I'm just gonna, all right, so let's start up top. I'm gonna start by blending upwards towards my hairline where I need it. Got, you know, my forehead's jutting out. I like my forehead, don't get me wrong. So in light circular motions, I'm blending upwards into my hairline because I got a white ass scalp. All right, I like to bring it down towards the tail of my brow, and I'm dipping in for some more. All right, going back into the pan. I'm gonna try to keep it as lightly as possible. I'm just kissing my face. Just kissing it, okay? I'm not coming down here. And then when I've got, you know, the least amount on my brush, I'm just gonna go over like I did with the blush. All right, now I'm gonna put down this Wet n Wild brush, pick up my larger one, go back into the bronzer. We're gonna start blending downwards. This bronzer is so forgiving. We're gonna always remember our ears because our ears need love too. All right, going back into the pan. Now we're just gonna blend it all out, okay? Again, making sure that we're not gonna bring it down too low. So pretty. And so now that we've layered highlight, blush, and bronzer, you can see just the most subtle sheen coming from beneath the blush and the bronzer, and that's the look that I'm going for. All right, I'm so happy with this. Now, after I go in with my, you know, medium toned blush, I like to go in with a brighter pop, and that brighter pop today is going to be this pearlescent pink from Wet n Wild. This is a $3-4 brush, depending on where you pick it up at. It's absolutely stunning. That it's so pigmented that the tiniest amount will give you a tremendous payoff. So please be kind when you dip. So grabbing that same blush brush, I'm dipping in one time on one side. Look at how much product it picked up. I mean, it's stunning. So now, I want to concentrate this on the fattiest part of my cheek so that I can get that, just had the best sex glow. It just gives you that, it's so pretty. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so pretty. And then I'm gonna grab that original and just very lightly blend it all out. If you want to make your cheekbones pop a little more, you can grab that translucent powder, dump some back into your cap, grab your angled beauty sponge, dip right in, and you can just clean it on up. Yeah? Do I have a what? Not at all. No, honey. All right, so we're reverse contouring. I'm gonna take whatever's left in that cap, stamp it right in the middle of my forehead, and maybe take the tippy part and bring it. Oh no. All right, the White Walkers are starting to slaughter the hard home inhabitants. I hate that. Oh my God, this scares me so much. Okay, grab your fluffy brush, whatever's left in the cap, and just start blending out. And you've cleaned up your, you've cleaned it up. And there she is. What do you think? She looks pretty. I love the subtle highlight in the brow. I think it's so pretty. All right, I'm gonna dive in to some Kiss lip liner in the shade Nude Brick. Oh my God, the whites are so terrifying. I cannot, they're so scary. So now the hard home people are running into the water because White Walkers and whites don't get in water. Complete mayhem. Okay, now they're climbing the fence. Yeah, it's terrifying. Sometimes I like to really define my Cupid's though. Other times I like to round it out. Sometimes I like to, depending on how long I want my lips to last, I'll fill it on in. This is a great, great, high quality. It would help that if it was actually sharpened. All right, take your finger. And blend. All right, for lips, I'm going in with this Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color in the shade Seduction. Not the most long-wearing formula. I don't know if I just don't I just don't know if I'm not patient enough and I don't let it dry down, or if I'm applying too much. I'll be done in like 5 minutes, I promise, okay? It is the real deal. After I go in with that matte color, let's pretend that I let it dry down, which I didn't. I'm going in with the Revlon Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polish in Birthday Suit. Accidentally bought 2 of them. Stunning, stunning nude. That I think would be flattering on every single skin tone. It's not a goopy gloss, it's not an ultra thin gloss, but it is a shiny, gorgeous gloss. And Emily Noel put me onto that. All right. I'm telling you, for someone who did not curl their lashes, this Exhibitionist mascara, it's a nice curling mascara. So let's assess. I think my under eyes look super bright and super smooth. For someone who didn't powder them, I mean, I think they look stunning. I think my cheeks look flushed and gorgeous. I think my lip is beautiful. I think my skin looks very, very even. I haven't even, you know, let me look at that. Look at that cheek. For someone who has large pores, and all right, so this is the Maybelline Instant Pore Eraser side, and this one is the Angelville side. Do we have an opinion as to which one looks smoother? Comment down below. Maybelline Baby Skin, Angelville, or do they both look the same? I think they both look stunning. All right, so from here, even though I don't really feel I need it, I'm gonna go in with a light misting of the e.l.f. coconut spray. I'm going to hop off camera, charge my phone, attempt to do one eye so that I can try to replicate the other, and run a brush through my hair, maybe change my shirt, and we'll come back and finish up. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. I love you guys. Be right back. I'm back. I feel like I've been gone forever. Okay, as you can see, I've got some shadow on. I've got a couple layers of mascara. I attempted a winged line and ran a brush through my hair, which was quite painful. Pulled it up in a chignon and added a necklace as a statement piece. So I was gonna throw a lash on, but then I feel like it's a waste of a lash because I'm gonna take it right back off, and it's not one of those lashes that can be reused too many times. So I did decide on going in with the e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, which I think is a fantastic palette, very good quality, but I'll be using my Soph X palette as a mirror. I'm still learning how to apply eyeshadow in a tasteful way so that it's fun for you to watch, but you'll just have to bear with me. So I'm just going in with 2 shadows. All you need to do is grab a fluffy brush, and I'm going into the shade Cheeky, which is like a melony color. I'm gonna go in and dust this all over the lid and kind of into the crease. I do have hooded lids, I do have wrinkly lids, and I've got a lot of space, you know, in my brow bone, but it's a little heavier here. I find that my eye looks the most open the less I have on it as far as my eyelid, but I really do enjoy eyeshadow. So all right, so going in with that fluffy brush with Cheeky on it, or just a comparable color, just a nice bright matte, and I'm just gonna start lightly building this. Oh. Starting at the center, and again letting the bristles do the bulk of the work. Oh, I forgot. I am going to grab, I purchased these e.l.f. Line and Define tapes at Target for like $2-3, and I love them. They're not the stickiest, which is okay. Some of these guards, you put them on, and when you take them off, it's ripped off the majority of your base. But this one's super gentle. I'm just gonna place that there. All right, what did I do with my brush? Here we go. And again, I'm just gonna fluff this all over, and this gives me just, it's like a training wheel, you know, a security blanket. It's just a guide. And when I've got, you know, less product on my brush, I'm gonna fluff it into my orbital bone, or right under my orbital bone, which is right here. And thereby making it more concentrated here and then kind of fading up, creating that illusion. Going back into cheeky, dusting off any excess. And there is minimal fallout. And I'm not bringing cheeky all the way into my inner corner. I'm gonna keep that nice and clean and bright. And again, dusting it into my crease, aka orbital indentation. All right, so now that I have that down, I'm going to pick up my, you just need a small detail brush. This is the Morphe M506. Any brush will do. And I'm going to dip into the shade Warm. Just a nice warm brown. Any matte brown shade will do. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some dimension, starting on the outer V, and really just using those bristles to press the shade. Going back into some more of that matte brown. I'm gonna start deepening up that shadow. And as you can see, just adding that brown creates some interest. Again, pressing it into that outer V. And then when I've got a little less product, I'm actually gonna press whatever's left right here. Gonna go back and grab my fluffy brush, dip it into that warm brown shade, and very lightly, I'm just gonna sweep. And again, I'm letting the brush do the work. The further back you hold the brush, the lighter the blend. The closer you grip it, the more concentrated. You want to find your happy medium. All right. I'm going to go back into that melon shade, that cheeky shade, that same fluffy brush, and I'm going to lightly blend out around that brown. This is a super easy, super pretty. I just want just a soft fade. All right? Simple as that. If you can go back into your brown, and if you want to deepen up that lash line, you can. Although I'm not going to bring that brown shade too close to my inner corner because I want to keep my eyes nice and wide. All right, grabbing that fluffy brush. Now, as of late, I have been using the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Black Waterproof. It's a new formula. The waterproof formula is new. The Taylor, aka Taylor, she swears by this one. It's a foolproof felt tip, super black pen. That's not going anywhere once it sets down. So because of the shape of my eye, I'm not going to close off my eye by bringing it way into the inner corner. I'm gonna start like a quarter of the way. And where you press the pen, you're gonna deposit the most pigment. So I tend to start like midway. And I'm using the side of the pen. The harder you press, the thicker the line. And then I'm gonna press that tape in. And I'm gonna use it as a guide. I don't wanna wing it out too far. Once I'm happy with that tail, I'm gonna start dragging it back through. All right, making sure, and there she is, not too shabby. I'm gonna grab that M504, dip into that brown, and lightly stamp it over that black liner. And then I'm gonna grab this Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Goldilocks. It's a beautiful, affordable shimmer. I'm gonna go ahead and starting at the center of my eye, start painting that on. Paint to your heart's desire. Just gonna add some, nothing like adding some gold shimmer on your lid to brighten up any look. And that's one layer. All right, gonna take that Morphe M504, dip into this purple, pick whatever accent shade you want, just a nice matte purple called Easy Going. And while this tape is still on my eye, I'm gonna loosely drag it under my lash line, going back in. Nothing too scientific, I'm pinching it now, and I'm not gonna run it too close to the inner corner, just 3/4 of the way. Then I'm gonna go back into that initial brown shade, just a light smoking out. This brush makes it super, super easy. And then last but not least, I'm gonna grab this Physicians Formula. It's called the Shimmer Strips Custom Eye Enhancing Kajal. Looks just like this. I'm gonna run it in my waterline. All right, let's take this tape off. I'm sure we're gonna need to do a little bit of cleaning up. You see there's just a mild line. Go ahead and grab that sponge and press, and we're gonna go in with a little more concealer just to make that more seamless. And then just grab your mascara. Sorry, my nose is starting to run again. Story of my life. All right, and let's just get those lashes as full as we possibly can. Tight lining with a dark brown or black waterproof liner is gonna help you create the illusion of a thicker lash line. Nice way to cheat the eye if you don't want to use falsies. Nice little trick is, go ahead, get my mirror. Go ahead and press, but when it's time to remove your eyelashes, you want to open it and then just start blinking. And just blink until they naturally release from the curler. So again, we're pressing, I'm pulsing, and then I'm just blinking. I'm gonna take my index fingers and just really push them up. All right, grab that concealer, and if you need to just clean up the line or just clean up any indentations, I think the more emollient the concealer, the better, so that you're not adding too much coverage or too much texture. And that way, you know, it's a nice, if you want to clean up that that wing, go back in, and if you want to put a brow bone highlight, you can. You can go into like any, you know, I don't like to put shimmer on my brow bone, but just go into like a highlight. I like a matte brow bone. Do I think this is full glam? No. Do I think it's soft glam? Yes. This Milani Make It Last spray is fantastic. It's a great alternative to the super expensive Urban Decay sprays. Fantastic, fantastic setting spray to lock it all in. This e.l.f. Dewy Spray, I love to spray around the perimeter. And at this point, you would just assess, you know what I mean? You could pull out your trusty fan and fan away. As a last step, I'm gonna grab my e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in Champagne Glam. One of my favorite. I don't know how much plumping it is, but I love this shine. Look at that. Grab your spoolie, brush up those brows. Here you have it. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I hope you love this look. I hope you attempt to recreate this look. If you do, please make sure to tag me in any of your posts. And yes, if you're not already subscribed, please click that subscribe button. Please comment down below, introduce yourself. And please leave me some of your drugstore favorites. I'm especially interested in hearing about your primers. And if you have any questions or any video ideas, I am all ears. Well, it's one good ear. So I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm signing off, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. I love you guys.